Boating, camping, outdoors, and drums? No, our channel is not about drums, but stick around and I'll tell you what our channel is about and why there are drums in my studio. Welcome to Drop Anchor, I'm TJ, and first let's address the elephant in the room. Why is there a drum set behind me? Well, this is the only viable space that I have in the house to make these talking head type portions of our videos. With that said, music is a big part of my daughter's and my life. She is a singer-songwriter. I play drums in a couple projects, as well as knowing how to play guitar and bass. No, we are not reviewing music equipment on this channel unless for some odd reason you ask, but it does make sense for me to put some of those music projects into these videos. You may hear some of our songs playing in the background as we're going through this, kind of like the one you hear right now. If you can dig all that, give this video a thumbs up and please consider subscribing to this channel. Now on to what you really came here for. We've had our boat for about 1.5 years now, so we've had it for 2 seasons, and it's definitely old. It's a bit of a basket case, but it does float, runs, and drives, which is kind of key. It'll tow people for water sports and tubing, and it can carry up to 12 people at a time. However, I don't recommend putting that many people on the boat that we have. 10 is about as uncomfortable as you want to get on our boat. And so far it's taken us on multiple, and successful I might add, multiple successful trips to Lake James, Lake Jocassee, and Lake Hartwell down here in the southeast. We've been able to have friends and family join us and just have really incredible times out on the water over the last 2 seasons. Through those journeys, we've been able to discover boating, camping, which is going to be one of the main points of this channel. Yes, camping that is only accessible by boat, which again is something we've been able to share with friends and family, as well as have other people in their boats come join us on these trips, which makes for just an incredibly fun weekend. See, when you go by boat, you get to see things that you normally wouldn't see from a car or just being on the road. It takes you out of the ordinary, everyday routine and puts you into the extraordinary, getting to see and explore in this way. But you've got to want to do it, and that's what this channel is going to help you do. One of the other main benefits of exploring this way is campsite availability. See, if you own a car, you can pretty much get to any campsite that you want to. But if you're choosing to go by boating, camping only, or primarily going boating and camping, you have to have a way of getting there, whether it be a kayak, a canoe, a stand-up paddleboard, a john boat, or in our case, a 30-year-old ski boat. I don't even know what I would call our boat. But again, to reiterate, it takes you into something that you wouldn't normally be able to see by exploring in this way. And because you have to explore via the water, those campsites don't typically book out as quickly as do drive-up campsites. So oftentimes there's a little bit more availability on them. When you do though, I can assure you will not be disappointed. The views are unique, and when you do so, you're typically a little more secluded, so that means there's additional wildlife. And sure, we've had great times and some often not so great times, but one thing I can tell you for sure is we've always left a weekend of exploration in this way with more fond memories than negative or bad memories. And we never have any regrets about the trip that we had taken. There might be challenges along the way. To me, those are what makes life life. And through these experiences, this creates valuable feedback that we wish to share with you guys. Feedback about our boat, camping gear, great places to go visit. For example, the super clear waters at Lake Jocassee. We're going to make another video about that. And really just in general, things to make your experience better. Whether you're camping in a vehicle, camping by boat, or some sort of combination of the two of them. And trust me, we have learned from what we've done over the last 2 seasons. We've had our boat loaded down so bad sometimes with gear that I'm sure other boaters in the water looked at us and just thought we were absolutely crazy. So through that experience, we figured out how to minimize. Trust me, there are sites out there in the boating, camping world that you don't want to lug all your gear up to. It's a haul. There can be a haul. Not all sites are that way, but they are out there. So again, to reiterate, our goal is to help you all figure out great places to go camp and good gear to have with you, whether it be by boat or by land. In addition to that, another personal goal of mine is to be able to camp on the boat. See, growing up, being on the water is part of what we did as a family. And it wasn't just my immediate family, it was my aunts, my uncles, my cousins, my grandparents. We all kind of did it. We shared these types of experiences together. It was what we did when we got together. Whether we were on our boat, riding through locks of the Kawartha Lakes region, surf fishing in the Atlantic, or just hanging out on the Georgian Bay where I grew up, this was what we did. It was such a big part of our family time together. For me, the boat was one of the most intriguing parts. How it just seemed to slice through waves, how the propeller could just push us effortlessly through the water. I wanted to know how it all worked. On top of that, I was always asking my dad to go as fast as he could and throw a rooster tail off the back. So yeah, we did have week-long camping trips on the Kawartha Lakes where we actually slept on the boat. We did the salmon fishing tournaments on the Georgian Bay, Father's Day weekend fishing trips on the French River, and so much more. The boat itself ultimately was a catalyst for us to spend more time together, and in a way it almost became kind of like a second home. We spent so much time doing it. It was a place where everyone was together and laughing and smiling and just having a good time. Now with that said, in our experience, nothing ever quite goes as planned. And sometimes you gotta be prepared for those, whether it be fixing your rig while you're out on the water, or your camp gear while you're at site, or being prepared to make repairs when you get home from a trip. Really just depending on how big the problem is. And in addition to that, there are the things that you want to change about your boat. Maybe you don't like the way the seating arrangement is in it. Maybe you need more lighting. Maybe you've had the battery die on you and you need to add a second battery. So those little DIY projects kind of come into play. The things that you want to make better about your boat, your camping experience, whether it be your tow rig, your trailer, your boat, or just the gear in general. So we're going to dive into some of those DIY projects to show you what we've learned about maintaining and upgrading your rig to keep you on the move and experiencing new things. We've been able to see some amazing sunsets and sunrises all while watching the fog lift off the lake. We've seen amazing waterfalls that you can only get to by the water. We've jumped off cliffs or rope swung into some of the clearest inland water that you have seen. Watched the stars from the boat and 4th of July fireworks. Watched our kids and our friends' kids play in the waters for hours, just laughing and having a great time. And conquer some fears on their own as well, getting up on the wake surfboard. And most importantly, and this is something I always tell my friends when they're out there with us, we didn't buy a boat just for ourselves. See, boating is about sharing these excellent memories. For me and my wife, for our daughter and her friends, parents and grandparents, for aunts and uncles, and our friends. Being in the outdoors is empowering, especially when you do it with others that you care about, and you're able to see your kids grow and learn. Not to mention the benefits that it has to you personally, reducing stress, disconnecting from that everyday life, and letting go of all those worries with your job or your business or just work in general and things that you have going on, or the house. So what is Drop Anchor really about? Well, in a nutshell, it's about outdoor recreation and adventure with an emphasis on boating. In addition to that, we're going to talk about gear and DIY projects that should hopefully help enhance your next adventure, whether it be in the woods or on the water. If you want to learn more about our boat and some plans we have for that, do us a favor and click here, and we'll see you on the next journey.